I really appreciate you all being here, and I thank you for coming and spending this time with me this morning, but especially for taking the effort, coming here to Israel to help the farmers in the Shomron. The Shomron is Hebrew, the term known as Samaria. We're in the northern Samaria. Judea and Samaria is north and south of Jerusalem. Samaria, you could say, is north of Jerusalem. And Yehuda, Judea, is south of Jerusalem. In Hebrew we call this area Shomron. These communities, the communities that we're in here from Tapuach up north, are part of the Shomron Regional Council, which is the municipal government of this area. In Judea and Samaria there are 6 regional local governments. The Shomron is the northernmost. Then you've got Benjamin. When you're in Shiloh and Psagot, you're in the Benjamin Regional Council. And south of that is Gush Etzion and Har Hebron. This is Judea and Samaria. Judea and Samaria, they are parallel terminology. If you follow the news, there are terms that are, depending on who the spokesperson is, depending on who they're representing, they'll be using different terminology. So we're in Kfar Tapuach, you're staying in Har Bracha. We consider those Jewish communities here in the Shomron, but when you open up a newspaper, they're talking about settlements. They might even be talking about illegal settlements, and there are parallels, depending again on who the spokespeople are. We call this Judea and Samaria, Yehuda and Shomron. There are people that call this the West Bank. Often when you read about this area in the news, you hear about the West Bank and about the Jewish settlements in the West Bank, and you'll hear many spokespeople who term these Jewish communities as an obstacle to a peace process, as if we weren't here, then there would be peace in the world. And just the fact that we're here is an obstacle to reaching that peace. We don't believe that. No. We believe that the Jewish people need to be here. This is the heartland of the land of Israel. This is the heart of the Jewish national movement of Zionism. The return of the Jewish people to the land of Israel is all based on events that occurred here in Judea and Samaria, because Judea and Samaria is the heartland of Israel. It's the heartland of the biblical land of Israel. When we read in the Bible the stories of our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Joseph, the dreamer, all of those events occurred here. On this main road, if you open up a map and you look for road number 60, the road that takes you from Har Bracha through the Tapuach Junction, south past Ofra, past Psagot, to Jerusalem, to Bethlehem, to Hebron, that one road, that's where all of those events occurred. When we read about Abraham, who heard the calling, heard the voice of God, God spoke to Abraham and said, "Go out from your father's home to a land that I will show you." The very first place that he reached was here, Shechem. Shechem is that city below Har Bracha. That is the location. That's the first place. It's one verse after the other. Abraham heard the calling of God. God said, "Go out." Abraham followed the calling of God and reached Shechem. This is where it all began. This is where the connection of the Jewish people to the land of Israel began here. And all of the other biblical locations that we read about, if we follow from north to south, we have Shechem, Shiloh, or you might say Shiloh, Bethel, Jerusalem, Bethlehem, Hebron, and Beersheba. They're all connected on that same road. So this road that you're on, you could consider that the highway of the Bible. This is where it all occurred. And that is sparked the Jewish national movement to return to the land of Israel. Jewish people, according to our tradition, we pray 3 times every day. We have a prayer book, we have a certain set of prayers that we say 3 times a day, and in those prayers we beg God. Throughout the ages, the Jewish people 3 times a day would beg God to return us to our land. We meant here. This is where it happened. Tel Aviv is, some people might say, it was wonderful, but that didn't exist before the modern Zionism. That's not what our fathers were praying for and speaking about. They were talking about these cities. and these hills and these mountains. But this is very, very central to our belief, to our connection to the land. This is the base of our connection. Many spokespeople, and I'll also give overview regarding